Alright, welcome in everybody. I'm going to do a little video on the Aslain's Modpack for World of Tanks here, and we'll jump right into it over here. This is the website. This is the address. Easiest way to find it, I would say, is just to Google Aslain Modpack. There is one for World of Ships as well. You're going to come down here. You have your links for downloading the Modpack. Clicking this link will take you to the official Wargaming website for the mods. I've already downloaded it, but there's your confirmation essentially, the wargamingmods.net/46. That is your official place to find the mod pack through them. You also have a mirror site link and a torrent site link here on the Aslain forum. I do recommend you get on the Aslain forum if you have any issues with the mod pack. They're probably going to be answered in this forum. And then we go ahead and hop into, there we go. This is what's going to come up. So you're going to open it. It might say like, doesn't recognize the publisher or something, some sort of warning on it. Usually for me, I have to click like a run anyway kind of option in there. Basically, there we go. We're going to click on the show the preview window because we want that for this video. This is all the stuff. Click, trust it. It's Aslain. Aslain's good. He's been doing the thing for World of Tanks for a long time. This gets us to, I have to resize this. Got it. I'll at least move it around, I guess we'll put it that way. And then I want that preview window. There we go. And just for the sake of making it look like how I am looking at it, I'm going to move these two items around a bit here. And also because it'll allow me to make the preview window larger for you guys. There we go. So scrolling down through the things, a lot of this stuff just, makes the game look pretty or different according to how you like it. For example, here, the HP bar, if you want thick, I like thin. You have information that you want displayed. This is for the over the tank markers by Aslain. Some of these are preset, like by Hog, it's just going to look like this. By Bones, it's going to look like that. So on and so forth by the XVM team. But I'd go with the Aslain's one, and I do the slim. I leave the star marker on for premium vehicles, puts the little gold star next to the tank name. Factory tanks don't have it. There you go. Second line, player name, basically meaning that yes, we're going to have the player's name. Fourth line, this is not a good example. It shows the vehicle contour icon. So the icon is actually going to look like a Borsig, or it's going to look like an IKV-90B. If you press Alt, you will see what that looks like. It's going to look, like when you're seeing the silhouette of the vehicle. Roman for the tiers, left and right. Rating markers, a square, just a lump of color to tell you the XVM rating of the player. I don't like XVM in particular. I will get to the part in here where there's information that XVM provides that I think is useful, but most of it, I think, take it with a grain of salt. Players stat pad, they play one vehicle religiously, all kinds of things that throw off their stats, whether it be for good or for bad. So you will see a tomato that wrecks a Unicum according to the XVM ratings anyway, or just a Unicum that just doesn't play well, and you're kind of going like, this guy's supposed to be an amazing player, what the hell? But then again, people do all have off games and stuff like that too. This one I like. This is the below 25% HP. You get a little exclamation mark next to the tank. You can put it over the tank if you want, or have it look like that. I put it on the side, generally. Sometimes I've run it with this one. And that's more or less like this tank's close to death, maybe not one-shottable depending on the tank you're in, but it's like, for me, that's like let's go ahead and prioritize getting that gun out of the game. or knowing that one of my allies is in trouble. Over the tank, default colors, Aslain's colors, Aslain's with vibrant colors. I just go with the standard one. This is for your class icons. Or you can choose to have the tier instead of the class. And then over the map, player's position at the beginning of the battle. Clan Wars only. I don't think I actually used this. I'm gonna uncheck that one. Not sure why that was checked. I think I made a mistake and I clicked up here and that put on a lot of things by default. Or at least a couple things by default did not have on. Okay. Continuing down through the list, we have this floating damage text over the tank. I have it with the black outlines. You can do it with colored outlines instead and increase the height that the damage basically hits up here instead of right over the tank. Floating damage size default. You can make it big if you want to see a bigger number, more easy to read number, I guess. This one I usually have to set the angel wings for allies, skull and bones for enemies. This is just a looks thing, but it also kind of lets you know if a lot of people are dying or something, you can see sort of, is it mostly friendlies or is it mostly enemies? Vehicle HP, I go with current. I don't care about the current. Whoop. This is what I did earlier. Clicked on something, it reset things, but current versus max, it's going to tell you how much is left and how much they had. I'm only interested in how much they currently have. You can go by percent if that works for you, and then color by ally or enemy. Yes, stock turret marker. This I have on is literally something that I tell you, green tick, stock turret with top turret mount possible. Stock turret marker red cross means they do not have the possibility of the top turret. So that's like somebody's got a new tank and, a weak gun or whatever. Markers for flipped and spotted tanks. This is going to show like this. Or essentially, my ally here in the Cromwell B has been lit. And now you know that your teammate has been spotted. Instead of, I think that works better than, say, that mod that people run where it says, I've been spotted in grid square whatever. And I think this is more useful than that. I don't like the I've been spotted in grid square whatever mod. Battle loading, we go simple, we go without stats and colors, basically looking like the vanilla client. Under tab with the advanced, this is where I was talking about the sort of vaguely useful. Again, take all of it with a grain of salt, but this is what I think XVM sort of does well. Ignoring basically the first four numbers, because this is all overall stuff. Now, for the overall category, I will say, knowing how many battles total a player has, okay, 11,000 battles, you're not that experienced, versus say someone with 59,000 or 72,000, that guy should be knowing what they're doing. But at the same time, I take all of this with a grain of salt because WN8 does not account for people who do a lot of assisting damage. And the overall win-loss thing, maybe they've just had a lot of bad luck in the game, Sometimes people don't win games, and it's not necessarily their fault, they're doing well enough. But this is where I think these last three numbers are the interesting and hopefully useful numbers that we're going to get out of XVM. First number, 7H, 700. So this player would have 700 or roughly 700 because it does round up and down. Battles in their tank. They've won about 48% of the battles they played in that tank, and they have a 0.8 kill death ratio in that tank. Versus, say, this guy and this guy, 0-100 battles. So they're, less than 100 battles into a new tank, basically. Or the artillery here with 22. Oh, I missed that tank destroyer here. 8,700. So this player would have 8,700 or thereabouts battles in this tank destroyer. but it's not looking good. 48% winning and 0.6 kill death. Versus, say, this artillery player with the 2200. They don't win in it, but they're killing 1.8 vehicles per battle in it. So this is kind of like giving you a better idea of how the player plays in the vehicle they're in right now. Remove clan icons, yep. Remove badge icon, yep. Remove elite level, yep. Remove country flags, yep. This is me taking away the junk from XVM that I just don't care about. I don't care if you've achieved a bank badge. Bank badge, there we go. Badge rank. I don't care what your elite level is. I don't care what clan you're in. I mean, I'm in Baboons on the NA and Quinn on the EU. I don't even know if we have a clan icon. Probably not. Continuing down, this is your player panels. So what you're going to see, basically top left and top right in the game. We're going with the large without stats. This is essentially looking like the vanilla client. Start mode in large. Transparency, weak. So this is the making the words on the team panels more readable. You want to make it more transparent to make it more see-through. That's up to you, but I like to keep it on the default. Marker eye. So this is tying in with that spotted eye mod that I have. And the way it actually looks when I play is this one, where I have undetected vehicles hide the icons. So green, these three are lit and currently visible. Red faded out color means that the tank was spotted at some point, but they're not spotted right now. And the ones that do not have an icon next to them, we know they have not been spotted at all during the battle. So just sort of useful for knowing how much of the enemy team you've actually found already and how much is left to be found. Then shadow for field text. So this is putting a little bit of shadow, again, making things more easily read, as you can see here. This largely helps with the colored option for when I press tab. And it brings up that XVM view with the colors on it. But it puts a little black outline around all the information so that it's more easy to read. And this one is to make the kills a little more popping on the team panel as well. Friends marker, so I get a little green face, whether they're on my team or the enemy team. I will see that, hey, somebody that's on my friends list is in the battle with me, and I can say, hi to them either in the game if they're on my team or after the battle if it's like, hey, I knew that guy. Hi, nice to see you in battle. Whatever, Again, removing the rank badge icon. I don't know why I keep wanting to say bank, but okay. All the circles, your proximity circle, your maximum view range circle, your maximum drawing range circle. A lot of these are in the vanilla client now. I still have them selected here anyway. Dynamic view range. The view range in motion, the view range while standing. This is mostly, these two, I would say, are mostly, in motion is going to be, and standing. And these two are mostly going to pay off if you have binocs on something. Because then you're going to see what your view range is when you're moving versus once the binocs have kicked in. And the range circle for your artillery has a thin red line. So say you're in like the FV304 or something. I know people, already, but just saying this puts an artillery range circle so you will know whether or not you're actually able to hit things. Still useful. Again, lines, long and thin green line, that is where my vehicle is facing. The turquoise dots is my selection. You can do yellow with dots, you can do white with dots. I just like turquoise. And that is where my gun is facing over here. go gun traverse lines. This is going back to that previous preview. So you get these two white lines that show the gun limitations. So if you have a casemate TD or just something that has a limited turret traverse on it or no turret, this is going to put a couple lines on there that show you whether or not the targets are within what you're able to hit. This is one of the reasons I spend a lot of time looking at the minimap as well when I'm playing, because to me, my minimap is full of lots of good information because we've turned all the things on. So icons for destroyed tanks, that can be useful, particularly on city maps and things when you're trying to get around and you want to like make sure that, a corpse is not in your way of getting somewhere. Or alternatively, if you want to go somewhere and hopefully use corpses to protect yourself. The dynamic HP, this will not update it, say for like the IS-7 and the WZ-1114. These guys are probably too far away to get the updates. They have to be within, I guess, radio range, because there have been a few games where, like, say, like the C100, it looks perfectly healthy. Then you get closer, and all of a sudden his health circle drops, and he's still outside your view range, but you've gotten the information relayed to you that he's not full health. He's actually, say, where the MX-30's health is. But overall, it is useful. It will tell you about the health of your allies that are close by. And of course, when you get closer to the ones that you weren't next to, it'll update that as well. Show full vehicle names on the map. You can do a short option as well. This is more like you're better with these abbreviations. And you can have them colored by the rating of the player, or you can just leave them in the default. Again, colored by rating is using the XVM color rating for the player. Again, take that with a grain of salt. Maybe the player's good, maybe they're bad. Maybe they're a bad player having the best game of their life. You never know. Maybe they're a bad player having the worst game of their life. It's all relative with XVM. I don't particularly like XVM, but I think it is vaguely useful, if that makes sense. And then icon scale for the map 1.0. You can make the icons small, you can make the icons bigger. You can set minimap zoom. I have mine maxed out anyway, so I don't bother with any of this. And going on down, I do use this hit log here, telling me, hits, total damage, kills, useful in a way. The other damage log is this one, comes down by your vehicle description, or I guess your repair thing here, and will tell you, who's hitting you, what you're hitting, and again, hide the central feedback. So instead of getting this crap in the middle, you get this one over to the side. I put color scheme to colorblind. One hits in purple. And the XVM team better blues, because here's the one with less blues. Hopefully that shows well on the video here. Nope. I feel like these just get too complicated. Different reds. Color blind, supposedly. I don't know. Doesn't look like this much of a color change to me between these two, so anyway, I stick with the simple 6-color scheme. I don't need to have 10 different rankings of players, and I don't really care, because like I was saying before, I've seen this very bad beat this Unicum several times in the game. So just because it says the player's a certain rating doesn't mean they are. 6th Sense icon stays up for 12 seconds. That way we are staying safe. I'm running the minions as my 6th Sense icon currently. There are a lot of options in here, or you can always just put in your own, and there's an image file in the World of Tanks game. You can easily replace it with a picture of your own if you want. And there are just a lot of different options in here. And I think that some of these are kind of on the adult content side, like boobs. We have like Girls in Panzer, minions I use. We've got Jean-Luc Picard, Stewie Griffin, Megamind. A-Team, which not really A-Team, but anyway. Schwarzenegger, Don't Panic. I did like running this one for a long time, but recently in the updates for Aslain's, they chopped the crew voice options. We'll get to that a little bit later. I do hide the promotional tank. I do hide the event banner. I hide the combat intelligence. Typically with these things, if I want to see them, I will go to them through the Wargaming Center rather than through the in-game. Here we do the yes, show the experience or price button for tech tree and research page. Show the mastery badge on the tech tree. You can do tank statistics next to selected tank. Yeah, don't care. This one, this is for your field mods. I think this is very useful. This very first one, that one means we're on stage 1, 2, 3, until it gets to like a mastery badge looking thing or an elite badge. This is like a colored version with red or green. That is the red colored option with a number telling you how far you are, but I like this one. Again, personal preference. Run what you like. Auto crew return. Yep. Just because I want that there. You know, I know it's in game now to an extent, but I do run into it frequently where it doesn't bring my crew back right away. Then ending padlocks. So this gives you a little padlock that you can put on your bonds, your gold, your experience, and you can literally lock it up so you don't accidentally spend anything. You know, it's going to make you go, crap, why isn't that working? And then you have to go, oh, I have to unlock it if you want to spend those things. That allows you to, if you want to save up, you really want to restrict yourself from spending it, there you go. I do the garage clock. I run the 24-hour version, and I run the more visible color. The thing for me, I have the computer's secondary screen. There's a clock over there, but I still like having a lot of clocks so that I can be aware of the time. I think as gamers, we kind of all ignore or forget that the time is a thing sometimes. Tank carousel, XVM, just running it with the 2 rows. You can get all crazy and have like a 5-row carousel if you want. That's up to you. I do run the enlarged boxes, so there's a little more easy to read and see the things that are in there, because then I'm running this option where it will tell us the tiers that the tank will face. These are not correct. Oh, it says 8 to 10, but it's a tier 8. So that should be from tier 6 to tier 10. Type 4 heavy, it says 9 to 11, but that should be tier 7 to tier 10. But general idea, they work correctly in game. This preview, I don't know where that came from. Moving on, we have the carousel transparent background. So how see-through is this background? If you want it all dark and shaded, if you want it to be see-through so you can see your garage better, I have that set for 75%. Again, personal preference. You can make it 100% transparent or 25%, which, you know, just your preference for how you want your garage to look. Carousel tank sorting criteria. We are running it to the default of nation, class, and tier, but if you want to run it some different manner, there are options to change that. Here I have the thing which shows the ping. This is particularly useful for when I'm playing on the EU. And, you know, I'm saying, okay, EU1 and EU3 tend to be the ones I get the best ping to. Sometimes 2 is good. 4 is usually garbage for me, personally. My ping to the EU4 is about the same as my ping to the Asia or ANZ server. But when I'm on EU, at least, that's helping me with, okay, maybe I'm getting a better ping, because essentially it's how much delay I have to the game, and, you know, less delay is always going to be better. Continuing down through the things, we get to where I have, yes, this option for tank speed over the damage panel. That's what I was trying to think of. Damage panel is what it's called. We have the extended replay, rewind. We have hiding battle hints. And that's it for that. When we continue on down, we have nothing in the non-XVM mods branch. Camera mods, I do run this 2468 blah 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 zoom modification. I do that not because I'm ever going to go to these higher magnifications, but because it puts the 6 times magnification in there. That's what I want this for. I want that in between of 4 and 8. I have 6. So I wouldn't bother with anything down here. And these are fairly simple, but I like this one just because this is that first one where you get the option to have 6 times zoom when you're scrolling back and forth. I think that 6 times and 8 times are about the limit of useful zooming with any tank, any sniping that you're trying to do. We disable the gun shake. We disable the red flash when we get hit by an enemy. Shadow remover, I don't bother. I've seen some people use it. Just want to show as an example. So this is your scope shadow. This is the scope shadow removed. It's, personal preference. To me, it makes me think of like when we watch movies, and everybody knows that when you look through binoculars, they're not actually shaped like binocular shapes. But when you watch a movie and they show that little, the view, like it's through the binoculars, and they put the little black binocular shapes on there, we all know it doesn't look like that, but we all buy into it when we watch movies. So that's sort of where I'm leaving the scope shadow in there. Enable free camera in replays. This is just something for if I watch replays and I want to be able to see what happened in other parts of the map. Better reticle size. I do recommend this before, after, with the reticle size limit remover, meaning that yes, your reticle can shrink all the way down to as small as it can get. Here in the crosshairs, I was running this minimalistic blue just because I liked it, but we're going to leave that off. I think I might have run one of these artillery ones before, but I don't use it anymore. Damage percent indicator, danger lights, spotted extended. These are all these things I'm looking for. I used to run battle equipment. This battle equipment would show in game either on the left side, the right side, or only when you press the Alt key, it'll show you what equipment is mounted on your tank. Auto aim tries to lock for 2.5 seconds, just personal preference. You can make it 1 second, you can make it 5 seconds, you can make it go forever until you choose to tell it to stop trying to auto aim. Enable AI Plus for wheelies. So this option allows for using AI Plus instead of the specific magnetic auto aim for wheeled vehicles. I still run Safe Shot by Old School. I know there's no team damage. I do this largely for when you have your teammates that go in against somebody and they're, begging for help or whatever. I can click and it's going to say, hey, you're blocking the target. And also, that works also for sort of stopping those players who are like, no one tried to support me when I YOLO'd. Well, there you go. You click on them, and there's already a chat message saying, you were blocking me from being able to shoot the guy you were fighting with. Sometimes I wonder about that with players, awareness. Like, if you had moved around, or to the side at least, of the guy you're engaging, then your teammates can probably get shots. If you are directly between the enemy and your teammates, how do you expect us to hit that? I mean, maybe if you're in a much smaller vehicle, like a little light tank up against a heavy tank, but if the vehicles are similarly sized, we have no shots to help you with. So that's why I still run that one. And also because sometimes people will take a shot and instead of pulling back, they sit there blocking everybody else from shooting. So click on them, put that chat message in there. Maybe they'll respond and move back. Continuing down, we have the advanced personal efficiency. This is making your assisting damage and your spotting, your crits. You can customize this in game. This is what the menu looks like in game. The enable assist counter, enable spotted counter, enable crits counter, and you can change how the assist counter mode works by either having it track radio or spotting, tracking, both, or you can have it as replace. If I remember correctly, replace is it's going to have whichever one is highest up top. I think I run this with both anyway, so I can see for myself, and I can decide, okay, I've done more spotting, I'm going to lean towards more spotting, or I've already gotten a great amount of tracking somehow early on, let's go for the tracking over the spotting, all depending on how the battle's playing out. Gun marks, this is your mark tracker options. You have the expected vehicles values. This is, I believe the one that Skill, Godpack, and a few other run. Pro Tanky, I'm not sure if I've seen people run it or not, but Lebwa is the one that I run. Gives you an in-game one and gives you the in-battle one. And then MOE in the garage, I learned this option, don't bother with it. Whatever this pulls numbers from doesn't match up with anything. I double checked it. I put it on because I thought, okay, cool, we'll have the colored pretty one in the garage. Not really remembering that this one already has one in the garage. But when I was looking at this, I realized these numbers for first, second, and third mark are all completely different from what this says for first, second, and third mark. And I double checked it. I went to Tomato GG, I went to the index, and basically every third mark of excellence tracking website I could find, nothing lined up with this MOE in the garage option. Okay, so whoever does that mod needs to update their thing. I don't know. It does not work properly. Don't use that one. The other three, it's your personal preference, whatever you think looks the best. Expected vehicle values. This one has a lot of customization. You can make it look however you want. Rotenki and Lebwa, these look how they look. I did run expected vehicle values for a while, but I just switched to Lebwa because it's simple. Consumable panels I have set to aqua. Again, I'm just tying in my channel colors, essentially the colors that I like personally, blue and gold, into the game. Player panels with the friends marker, once again, having the little there's a blue or green face next to somebody, say, and it tells you right here, recognize people from your friends list in battle. So that's what that's about. Continuing down, the Sixth Sense thing, which will interfere with the other Sixth Sense thing. So if you didn't pick in the first one where I did a long list, there we go. So in this first one, which says Six Senses, we did 10, 12 seconds. We did the minions icon. This is the XVM icon, the XVM version, I guess. And then coming down, we are down in here into the non-XVM mods branches. And that is where we end up having another list of Sixth Sense things, which these will interfere if you have the other one selected. So you have to pick one or the other. You cannot have both. FPS limiter, I have it put to 120. My modder is capable of 165. The secondary modder is even capable of 144. But I have that just to kind of keep the game running a little smoother because I've seen the FPS just jumping up and down. And I thought, well, easy answer. We'll limit it. I might even drop it down to 100. Haven't decided on that yet. both battle and garage. Yes, make sure that is checked because I don't know why it will go nuts in the garage sometimes. Garage icons, we have the crew skin. So if anybody is curious about Quinetic, the EUCC, and you want to have him in your crew as an option, this is where it is. The garage options, garage icons, crew icons, Quinn. And what this does is it takes one of the standard in-game crew members and adds the Quinn mask over that face, and that will be on for every single nation. And you can just make all your crew look like Quinn if you feel like it. And alternatively, there are minions crew members, which I like as well. But I'll say I use the Quinn one. If anybody has been curious about where my battle results windows are at, here it is. There are different options. I chose this one because it makes me think of the classic pinup girls from the military. And then there's another pinup girl, which is more cartoony and whatnot. But I think the sexy actually looks more like pinup girls than the pinup girls one does. And then you can do, anime or whatever you like. Lots of options there. Down here for the selected carousel frame, I have my tank that's selected in a blue frame because I like the blue and the gold colors. Yellow is okay, I think, but I prefer the blue. Personal reserves, pop and aqua. I have blue for my daily XP. Vehicle parameters on a single list. I do think this is very useful. Instead of having everything in a drop down, it's all still in the same order, and it's just one continuous list. Unanonymizer on battle results, so you get out of the battle, you can see what the player's name really is, what their fake name was in the battle, and you'll have the little yes, they were anonymized icon on the scoreboard. If you're ever curious about somebody and you want to check them out, there it is. Battle hits viewer, so you can see where you hit enemy vehicles, where they hit you. Replays manager for doing replay things. Extended friends and blacklist, yes. Yes, I thought it was a little ridiculous. It gives you up to 100,000 blacklist people. Sure, if you want to blacklist essentially the entire EU server, go for it, I guess. I mostly ran that so I'd have a really big friends list. The friends list is limited to 3,000. So, not sure why you're getting 100,000 on a blacklist and only 3,000 on your friends list. Why can't I have 100,000 of both? Anyway, just me. Random tank selection. This is our tank roulette, as it's called in the game, or by streamers that run it. And the way this works, it's going to put a little button right here. That button will rotate through whatever you filter. You can filter the tier, the vehicle type, selection as you see fit. And just so you know, when you run tank roulette, if the crew is incomplete, as these two say right here, tank roulette will not even look at these two. It's only going to look at the vehicles that have a crew in them that are in your filter that you have set. And personal choices, I have the Halloween 2023 battle button. Garage armor inspector, if you want to look at the inspection of the armor of your tanks in your garage, up to you. I don't usually bother with these things. Auto equipment return for Watt Plus users. You can have it'll enable equipment auto return. Once it's enabled, that option becomes disable equipment auto return, and it's faster than doing it manually. But when you have two setups for the tank, make sure that you're leaving the tank by selecting another tank and then coming back on that secondary setup for the tank, because it will move all the equipment, but it's only going to move one set of equipment at a time. So if you're on setup 1, it moves all the equipment into setup 1 when you select the tank. If you're on, then you click setup 2, click to another tank, click back to the tank you were setting up, and it'll bring in setup 2. Okay, so it doesn't move 6 pieces of equipment. It moves the 3 on one setup. Yeah, go to the other one. So a little bit of playing around with that, learning how that works, but I think it's very good to have. Fan auto claim for your tour of duty fan rewards. Very helpful, very useful. I wish Wargaming had just made those automatically claim instead of making us have to click in on them, because I missed out on a lot early on because I kept forgetting to go in and claim my missions. And I think we're into, yes, the sounds. Now this is where I was talking about. So I have UT announcer. What this does is it'll announce first kill as first blood and things like that. Like, and by the way, first blood, first kill, it's not necessarily that you got the kill. It's literally like whenever the first kill in the game happens, it's going to go first blood. And there's a male voice, a female voice, or this Buddy X69 and old school option that I like. Gun reload. This is what I just realized. I don't have that selected. Why is that not on? Should be. There we go. Actually plays when you, if you click on these, by the way, wait a minute, and it's going to play the sound. I don't know how to get that audio to the video, but just trust me. If you click on it, I am hearing the from the movie Fury where it says on the way, which is actually the gunner when he fires, not the loader. Minor details, but I like having that on the game. And the crew voices, this is what I was getting at earlier. In some update, I don't know if somebody stopped making their mod or whatever, all the crew voice options in here got chopped big time. And what I'm not a fan of with that is I lost my Deadpool option here. So I went back to the minions. Ta-da! 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 Anyway, that's basically what the preview of that sounds like. There's Monty Python, there's War Thunder, there's Fury Tank School sounds. And then, of course, if you speak different languages, Polish, German, French, Czechoslovakian, Georgian, Japanese, Romanian, Russian, Ukrainian, Chinese, they give you something for everybody, basically. I just missed some of the options, like the Deadpool one from earlier. Or if you like, say, a particular nation in the game, you can come down here to the other crew voices, and you can say, I want all tanks to be using the American crew voices, or the British crew voices, or the German crew voices. It'll make every single tank from every single nation. So even if you're driving, say, an Italian tank, you can have it with British crew. You know, every vehicle will be the same. Now that does not apply to special commanders. Kind of like, for example, this Chuck Norris here. When you have, say, Chuck Norris, Cobra Commander, Dez, Skill, Docky, one of those special commanders that comes with their own crew voices, Turtles, the Witch Girls, all those different special voices, they do not get replaced by these crew voices here. You can do that with this crew voice overrider. That's what the crew voice overrider does. But I like hearing all the different ones I've earned. I just want to make sure that, yes, we're still all set up here with our Fury reload sound, our UT announcer for events and things. UT announcer, by the way, it also does like a 5-minute alert, 3-minute alert, like if it gets towards the end of battle. And it counts down like the 5 seconds. Basically, you get 5-minute, 3-minute, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and then a 5-second countdown at the end of the battle if you're, there at the end of the battle. Minions, like I said, I just like the minions. And then here, if you want to override, say you have, I don't know, commanders you find particularly annoying. Now, be fair warned, that means everything. Doesn't mean you get to pick and choose which special commander voices. This overrides all of them. So you won't hear say you like Dez's voice, or you like Skill's voice, or you like the Witch Girl's voices, whatever it may be. If you use the crew voice overrider, you hear none of them. And then further down, because I have the Girls and Panzers tanks, I did come in and I added this where when I play those tanks and the Girls and Panzer girls are talking and they're Japanese, we get subtitles that tell me what they're saying. And then I think that's about it. Yep, we've gotten through. And then at the very, very bottom of the list, which I don't know. Oop. There we go. I bring that up and you can see it. There you go. You can see we have the version checker and the Modpack button in the garage. These are just extra, basically. Bring it up. When you're done, when you have all your selections down here at the bottom, it's going to tell you flat out, this is how much disk space all your selections are going to take. So, if you have a limited PC, don't run a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, you're going to bog down your game. If you have plenty of memory, this doesn't really matter. You can choose every big option you want from this list of stuff. There's tons of stuff in there. I'm sure you can still bog down your game with it if you feel like it. But what I've chosen, like I said, mostly are aesthetics things that I like that make it, better for me personally. I think the game looks better, it sounds better, it's more fun. I like having the minions that make me laugh. And then all this is to me worth it. And so we will click next. It's going to bring up. Uh-oh, I lost it. It jumped off the screen while I did that. Not good. All right, you know what? We're going to change the preview one to that one. There we go. Adapt and overcome. So when you're done and you've clicked the next, this is that next screen that comes up. I want to highlight, yes, these first two options, delete these every time. Strongly advised and advised. Aslain knows what he's been doing. He's been doing this mod pack thing a long time. And just like it says with the instructions, use only when you have problems with the game, not always. And if you want to create a folder, if you want to create shortcuts, that's up to you. These first two, leave them checked, run them. Next, it's going to give you the list of everything it's going to do. The cleaning out the mod folder, telling you the current date and time, the build date, mod pack version. We're installing it to the NA client. The destination on your computer. And like I said, selected components is going to go list everything you selected as a scrollable list. You can verify that everything is in there, or if you want to copy and paste it, that's another way of basically just taking this and going, yeah, but it keeps freezing up. Hold on. Okay, ignoring that. There we go. It took a moment. Yeah, so you can literally just take that, copy it, and paste it into a notepad, and you know exactly everything that you had selected. I am clicking the button. Now it's actually extracting the files and installing, and this is where you get to see live, at least my system. This is a i7 8700K processor on this PC. I do have an update for it. I'm waiting for a part to come in to update to a new processor. But just as an example, that is basically it. Now it's going to be sitting there finishing the actual installation. This may or may not take a little bit of time. Where's my, there we go. Finding my World of Tanks folder. And paste. I just want to kind of double check it. So then, yeah, once it's all done, you get this one. If you haven't activated XVM and you're using XVM stuff, make sure you check that. Go update. It has to be renewed every 14 days. You can join Aslain's Discord. You can donate to him or support him on Patreon. I think I give him like $1 a month. And finish. That is done. And just to show you what I was talking about, It's not wanting to find my notepad. Maybe I can't share the notepad? Okay, well, I'm going to go with it's not going to let me share that. So I want to say thanks to everybody for coming by. Again, final ending piece of this, by the way. Actually, let's go back there. And we are going to show you guys that website one last time. Oh, that came in huge. Let's fix that. Where basically give you their website. Yeah, website's up here at the top. Links to get it are there, which takes you to, this very first link for the wargamingmods.net takes you to wargamingmods.net, and you can download and see that, yes, this is an official thing. It's got a 4.7 rating. You know, people like it. It's useful. It's got lots and lots of things. It's got, in my opinion, too many options, but with the preview thing, you should be able to find everything that you're looking for, and hopefully you guys are out there having fun with your tanks, and hopefully by running Aslain's mod pack, you're able to make the game a little more fun than it is with the standard setup. And as you can see, there's nothing overly advantageous to it. It just makes things, I think, a little nicer than what you get with the vanilla client. So I want to say thank you all for coming by and watching. Thank you for hanging out, and hopefully I will see you guys around on YouTube or on Twitch. So have a good one.